This is Radio Tetris International. Time fast approaching 1300 Central European Time. That's 12 in the UK. And we're all locked down together now. It gets worse. It really, really does. So don't forget.
1, 2, 3. Wash your hands. It just takes 20 seconds. Wash your hands. It's for your own protection. No exception, no objections. You'll make such a nice impression. No infection if you only wash your hands. And you're done.
Hello, Dave.
Hello, happy shortbread day.
Oh, I like shortbread. Oh, no, I can't have it.
Day.
It's sweet.
Oh, yeah, it's got sugar on it. You can't have that. I love shortbread.
I do too.
It's also bean day.
Bean?
Bean.
I like baked beans.
I guess they cover it.
Yeah.
Whatever. Apple tree day.
Don't see the point of that.
Three Kings Day.
Now, that's why we have a national holiday here today.
Oh, are you all on holiday? You lot are never at work. You're on holiday all the time.
No, it genuinely is, because it's a Christian festival, and being a Catholic country, when you have things like Three Kings Day, that's a national holiday thing, and normally people will be going to church, but they can't because they're not allowed.
Right. There's also another day today, but I'm not sure we should mention it because technically we should ban it.
Ah, what's that then?
Because it's Cuddle Up Day.
Oh, no, we like that.
I suppose you can cuddle up with people that are in your bubble or in your house, or whatever they call it today.
Well, no,
I've
not
lost the plot, to be
necessarily.
entirely honest.
No. Some of the towns in Slovakia, one being Nitra, actually went into full-blown lockdown yesterday. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, but if you're in a house with somebody else, you could cuddle up to those.
Yeah, you could, but you're not allowed to even go to your mum or your neighbours or anything. And you're only allowed to whip out to the hotel, the shop quickly, or the doctor's. Then you have to go straight home.
Right.
And it's a rule here. As I said the other day, I've actually, in my wallet, I've got a paper from the company verifying I'm supposed to be at work. If you haven't got one of those, you can't go.
I haven't got one of those.
No, that's true. Yeah, but you're special, aren't you?
I know.
What's up, RDI? Pell City, Alabama calling. That's Crystal. Hello, Crystal. You can
Marcus, go and sit in the corner and wash your mouth out with soap.
Or put the funny hat on and stand on the stool.
Yes.
Uh-oh, Alabama's taking over.
Oh, is he?
Yes. Axel says, what's up, RTI. Axel in the house. I'm, really?
Oh, no.
He's locked down
as well. It's the whole world. We're all locked down.
For goodness sake. Paul says, hi, Eric and Dave. Thank you to Stephen B. For inviting a couple of thousand people to the programme today. And I have to just make clear something. If you are listening to us, and watching, on YouTube, I'm sorry, if you put messages there, we're not going to see them.
You might. Well, I might do. I keep trying to check them, but I'm running out of
computer screens
on my screen.
Yes, I know. So it's you'll have to pop across to Facebook, really, or somewhere like that, or You Now. Yeah, that works well.
Either of those work.
Yeah, they work really well.
Facebook is facebook.com/RTI radio.
Yes.
Just in case you needed to know.
Yes, this is true. But we thought, you see, that because something happened yesterday, that we'd share with the world that there are real talk shows around.
Dear, this is going to get in trouble.
Because Talk Radio, the UK version, got kicked off of YouTube yesterday.
Yeah, their account has disappeared.
It's funny that the BBC seemed to put that story up very quickly, and there was a little bit of gloating in the message, I thought.
Really? Do you think there was?
Yeah, I think there was a little
Can't
bit.
imagine why.
No, I can't either. But anyway, Talk Radio are off YouTube, so we decided to put RTI on YouTube. So welcome, YouTubers, to the program. I can assure you that not everybody thinks like some of the correspondents on talk radio, who have some very weird sort of views on stuff. We understand, and I'll prove it to you by playing this quickly again.
1, 2, 3. Wash your hands, your hands. It just takes 20 seconds. Wash your hands, your hands. It's for your own protection. No exceptions, no objections. You'll make such a nice impression. No infection if you only wash your hands. And you're done.
Because this radio station believes there is a virus. And it's not aliens with little horns. It's not somebody coming down on a spaceship from somewhere to get us, as some people think. And what's more, the vaccine is not Big Brother.
I don't know whether you saw what I put up the other yesterday. A friend of mine shared it, and I put it into Steve's comment. But the vaccine, apparently, if you believe certain people, has a chip in it so that you can be all tracked like Big Brother. And somebody's actually done some research and discovered that the schematics of said chip has now been published.
No way.
Oh yeah, it gets better.
Okay, good.
It's the schematic from a guitar pedal. So good news, we're all going to sound like Jimi Hendrix playing a guitar.
Nice. Oh, I wish I could do
Epic.
that. Oh,
just think how good Christmas carols are going to be next year or next Christmas.
Yep.
If we all sound like a Jimi Hendrix guitar pedal, it's going to be epic.
Perfect. I mean, Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner is just... There's no adjectives to describe it. It's too good for all of them.
Exactly.
Oh, it was amazing. What? Peach Orchard Macon? Georgia. Rocking with RTI with James Axel Wiley in Alabama. Well, that's nice, Crystal. That's very nice. Steve
Has
reckons...
Axel got his own show?
I think he has.
I think he should have.
He's taken this one over. Steve thinks we need a heavy metal version of Wash Your Hands.
I know a man who can do that, don't we, Axel?
Yes. So Axel could mix that with his music.
Yeah.
Put some heavyweight boom, boom, boom underneath it.
Yeah. Make your bass bins rumble.
That's the one we like. So anyway, for all those YouTubers, the UK is not totally insane. Well, some of it. Eccentric, yes. Eccentric.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
No, absolutely not. But we're not bonkers, as some are. And we do believe there is a COVID pandemic. We do believe in vaccines to fix it. And we do believe that people should stay at home, wash their hands, and keep the medical services safe wherever you are in the world. It's logic. And what's more, if you want to use science that's been there for like ever, viruses mutate.
Yes.
They have this habit of doing it. It's
Which is why the flu jab has to be administered every year.
Yes, 'cause it's slightly different.
Exactly. It's mutated. It's not a shocker.
Oh, Steve knows a DJ from there. Bill Elder. I think he means Arizona. Hi, Tarina. She says, afternoon, guys. Well, she doesn't say it like that. She says, afternoon, guys.
She'll come and find you and give you a slab.
Probably. I can run.
Now that I'd like to see. Can we have a video of this? Is good Mrs. W listening today?
Well, she can't really avoid it because the radio's on in the office.
Excellent. Can we have a video of Eric running, please? You can shoot it on your phone, whatever. That'd be great.
Would you like to see one of me singing?
No.
Oh.
No.
Sure.
The world isn't ready for that, I'm afraid. It's bad enough having to listen to you on the foldback before the show. So yeah, if you can.
I wasn't
just
singing today.
No, I know, which was a miracle.
I was absolutely.
Fridays, Rachel, Henry, and I just sit here cringing.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know why I wasn't singing today? It was
Because you were talking to me.
It was messages from the stars. This isn't really a lockdown in the UK. You can have unlimited outside exercise. That's probably true. Garden centres are open. Loads of shops are open. Even go outdoors is open. Churches are open. Takeaways. Click and collect from toy stores. It's not so bad. No, it's not.
Are they supposed to be open?
I don't know. I suppose with click and collect, you could get away with it.
Yeah.
We're not allowed to do that. No.
No, I didn't. I thought you were only allowed to sell essential items.
Well, yes, but being
very complicated.
But being a Slovak, you see, essential items includes wine and alcohol and beer.
But they've said you can't do alcohol as a click and collect and a takeaway service.
We can here.
You can't hear.
Ah.
I heard him talking about that on the radio.
John.
What? What's John done?
I was just sharing a story because somebody said klobasa, and klobasa in Slovak means sausage.
Right.
And I thought I was getting sausages for dinner.
Excellent.
But I'm not.
Aren't you?
No.
Why?
I'm getting some pretend meat thing. Healthy food. Anyway, in pipes John Wright, who then says, "Afternoon, guys, sausage and chips today." Marvellous.
Look, John, it's all very well you sharing with the crowd what you're having to eat, but there are two people here who can't have anything to eat until 1 o'clock, unless you'll give us all an early pass.
Yes.
And the only way we're going to get an early pass is if we can get rid of this COVID thing. So once it's gone, then we can give this show up and go and do something else with our lives.
It's not really a lockdown. Jays are allowed out. I know they are, Steve. Shocking. And Richard says, sausage? Do you want my sausage story?
Go on, then. Let's hear your sausage
When
story.
I first came here, everybody was thinking, I can't cope. And I'm thinking, because again, I've been around the world. I mean, what does it bother me? So anyway, some nice person who was out on a tourist, what was he on? Some business trip or other. Anyway, he then, Axel's going to get me a pizza. Oh, nice man.
Cool. Can I have one as well, please?
Yes, okay. Lots of nice toppings on it. Hawaiian's nice. I like Hawaiian, bit pineapple.
Barbecue chicken I quite like.
Yeah, that's quite nice. I agree with you. So anyway, this guy comes out and he's a bit naughty. He bought some deep frozen sausages, kept them in his fridge overnight so they thawed out. And for breakfast, he brings me in proper bangers, real sausages, but a huge catering bag of them. And I thought, I love you. So anyway, Jan says to the chef, get Eric some sausages. Do you know what he did?
I don't know. What did he do?
He boiled them.
Eh?
He boiled them.
Boiled sausages?
Yeah, that's what they do with them here, you see. Ugh. Yeah, I agree. So anyway, I sort of saw red, white and blue, and Jan said, Eric, he spoke to the chef first, and he said, Eric, go and cook breakfast. He said, and I'll have some bangers as well, please. I said, okay. So I went into this huge kitchen. Obviously, it's a massive kitchen. It covers 3 hotels. And said chef wasn't very happy with that. So I then managed to wander around and find lots of goodies. I even found some baked beans.
Oh, baked beans in a chef's kitchen?
Yes.
Surely not.
Yes. So we did egg, bacon, sausage, tomato, baked beans. I then did some fried bread, which he'd never seen in his life. I made some builder's tea.
Oh, right, yes.
In mugs. So I carried the 2 mugs and had a tray with Jan and mine's breakfast on it. And as I get outside, all the Brits are going, oh, English breakfast. Oh, can I have one? And Yan looked at me and I looked at him and I ended up doing 20 plus covers. And the chef went home.
Oh. Oh, he didn't get paid.
He ended up getting fired, actually, as it goes. Paul likes pizza as well. Paul in the UK. Axel, can you send one to the UK as well? Because Paul wants one.
Yeah, maybe we should create a Google sheet or an Excel spreadsheet of something that, and then we can write down what everybody wants.
Yes, I think you could be right.
And then put the order in that way.
Yeah. Steve says, if the rumour of a row between the UK and EU about sausage rolls is true,
oh God,
does that mean that Lad Baby
are banned in Europe? Lad Baby are the people that were number one for 3 Christmases in a row.
Oh, of course,
singing about
yes.
sausage rolls.
I don't think anybody ever heard it here. And we
Well,
didn't.
they should have done because I played it on my show.
Yeah, I know, but apart from you, I don't think it was ever played.
Boo.
Marcus says, no, they said you can't do alcohol as a takeaway, not click and collect. There's a big difference between the lockdown and the one in March. We have click and collect. We have an unlimited outdoor exercise garden centre open and what is classified as essential retailers. Is Go Outdoors an essential retailer? No. It's not. That's bonkers.
Who knows? It's all very, very complicated, and there's lots and lots and lots of pages on the internet to read up if you go to gov.uk if you want to try and figure it out.
Oh, I think the best story I've heard today is Mrs. Cranky in Scotland.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
She said that Donald Trumpy can't go to Scotland and play golf if he doesn't go to the presidential inauguration.
Right.
Mrs. Cranky. Hello? He pays half your wages in Scotland. He pulls...
We own large lumps of it, mainly golf courses.
Yes. And if you got the gall to tell him you can't come to Scotland where you own all the golf courses, all he's got... And honestly... it would make no difference to him. He'd just say, all right, I'll close the lot then. He doesn't have to sell them.
I mean, can you imagine if she upsets Donald, does that automatically mean Donald's mate Piers would be upset as well?
Probably.
That's it's all just going to turn really ugly, isn't it?
Yes.
Quickly.
Oh, Axel's bumped into boiled sausages before. The black sausages with blood and sausage and rice. They boil those. Yeah, I kind of get that because that's a bit like haggis.
Bleh.
Haggis is lovely.
Bleh. Bleh.
I like haggis.
I don't.
Oh.
Shall we leave it at that?
Every time you come on here, you're talking food. That's because you, John. Don't you blame me for this. It's your fault.
I actually, it possibly could be mine because I mentioned that it was shortbread day. But I'm not quite sure how we got from shortbread to sausages.
No, I'm not sure about that either. Marcus wants to know, who thinks that this virus escaped from the laboratory in Wuhan? Trump was dead right. Too much of a coincidence for China's main virus lab to be based in Wuhan, and that is where it all started. It could well be, Marcus. I wouldn't disagree with you. I wouldn't at all.
It's a theory.
Yeah.
Whether it's a right theory or not is entirely different. Yeah, wouldn't like to say.
No, but we're never going to know anyway.
No, nobody's ever going to admit that, are they?
No, because China won't tell anybody.
No.
No. How can he play golf in Scotland, that's Mr. Trump, when he will be in jail? No, he won't. He won't. Not going to happen. Even with the silliness he's done recently, it's not going to happen. Especially if
apparently, Mrs. Cranky has only said this because of the current restrictions in Scotland and the lockdown.
No, she's...
And the same rules apply to Mr. Trump as to anybody else.
But I read it was because of the presidential, the inauguration of the president, the new one. Because he's saying, I'm not going to go.
Oh, good grief, is he?
Yeah, that's so childish.
If this is going to become a food show, then Steve Mann thinks you should dress up as Delia Smith. I think that's dating you there, Steve.
So easy, Steve. Let's be having ya! Delia Smith.
Maybe you should dress up as Mary Berry.
I haven't got enough makeup for that.
Actually, it's quite scary when you watch all these cookery shows that go out on the telly.
Yeah.
It's quite scary. None of them can be healthy cookery shows. The
No.
amount of sugar and butter and every other fat that they can find to throw in, and it's not exactly measured well either. Oh, just a blob of this. I mean, it's a bit like Keith Floyd with alcohol.
Yeah, he was good.
He was good, yeah. Just slop and underloading, yeah. Job done.
I'll tell you what I do like for food programs, and they're not really food programs. They're telly shopping. The amazing telly shopping advert thingies that come from the USA.
The infomercials.
The infomercials. Axel, you've got one of the best industries for making infomercials in the USA. And they have these sort of warmed up fan cooker things. And you think, there's not enough in there to feed a sparrow. But they make it look enormous on the plates. And apparently, Axel is with you, Dave.
Excellent.
Iraq wants Trump for the murder of the big leaders, just announced this morning. Gosh.
Mr. Trump is so in demand.
He won't
It's a
be
good
going
thing he won't have time to run the country, so that's okay. So
Yeah.
he
Well, he will
can go
do.
and see all these other people.
Well, he
soon.
thinks he's going to do it again in 4 years' time, for goodness sake. Ian Gilligan says, well, where have you been?
I was going to say, hang on, it's 20 minutes past 12. Ian, where have you been, man?
You've got a teacher's note. Good afternoon, Dave and the Slave. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed you'd called this Radio Relief with Dave and the Slave. So are you classing yourself as the slave today?
Yes.
Right.
I was.
Any particular reason?
I actually had. Well, Martina said to me, she described them as having glass. I had glass eyes yesterday when I finished.
Oh.
I was so intently writing,
Oh.
which is why you got pages of it this morning.
Yeah, I haven't. It was a 10-page document you sent me on WhatsApp. I hadn't uploaded me WhatsApp thingy onto the computer this morning, and then I'm trying to read it on my phone. I gave up after about the first page and a half, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's not that much to read.
There were lots of pretty pictures.
There's lots of pretty pictures, but we can't tell you what it is yet. It's a bit of a surprise. Infomercials were made back in the 60s, says Ian. Might well be. No, they were done before that. They were done in the 1950s, man. And he says, I don't need to know. I've been sat here listening since 12:05.
Well, you were still late then,
Yes.
because we were on at 12.
Yes.
I used to be involved in the creation of
I know.
infomercials.
Yeah. Naughty boy.
We used to actually. It used to be hilarious. We used to have to format these things. You think there's only one. When it comes down to it, there's like about hundreds and hundreds of the same product, and they're with very slight edits in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just madness. The amount of money that's spent making those things is quite frankly scary.
Mm-hmm. I have a question for Trevor Collins.
Oh.
He claims that Eric has had too much wine.
Is this why you were glassy-eyed?
Could be true. Could be true. It wasn't. I even had my lunch at my desk yesterday. And I carried on typing while I was eating my lunch.
Well, hang on. How did you manage? How do you eat your lunch and type at the same time?
I put the plate in front
Both
of me.
hands.
Both plate is in the middle. Keyboard's
Yeah.
just in front. I reach around the plate, type, get the knife or fork, do what I've got to do. I'm chewing. I'm all at the same time. I can do two things at once.
How can you hold the knife and the fork and type?
No, because I do the knife and fork bit.
Right. So
Complete
you're
that
not
bit.
typing at that point.
No, I'm not typing at that point.
So you're not working.
No, I'm eating.
So you couldn't be eating while you worked.
Yeah,
to be one or the other.
This is where it comes a bit clever. I put the food in my mouth, and whilst I'm chewing, I'm typing. So I am doing two things at once.
Good grief. I wonder you were glassy-eyed.
No, I can't type with my nose. I can't type with my nose.
That'd be a neat trick.
Would be, wouldn't it?
Would.
I did type with a pin with a rubber bung on the end of it years ago. Because I nearly cut my finger off. And it was all stitched and sewn up and stuff.
Right.
Yes, it was horrible. If the rubber bung fell off at night, my left lower arm looked like I was a junkie.
Oh.
Never mind. Eric multitasking, he should have been a female.
Some people have said he's
an old queen
old
anyway. Could be very true there. Could be very true. And this again is all your fault.
What, my fault?
Yes.
Why? What have I done now?
Well, you keep bringing up, especially last on Monday, you were bringing up factual statements.
Oh, it was trivia day.
Ah, so it was
Not
mucking.
trivia day today.
It was mucking about day then. We weren't doing consumer top tips.
No.
You try saying that after a glass of wine. But anyway, I've got one.
A consumer top tip or a piece of trivia?
I think it's a consumer top tip, but you can judge.
Okay, I'll be the judge.
Yes.
I'll be Judge Dave.
Yeah, Judge. Will you wear a wig?
No, because I look stupid in a wig, as those who've seen the video would know.
No, but if you put the white wig on, the big one.
Oh, with the big white dusty wig.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think that'll suit me. I'll look more like Doc Brown from Back to the Future, the mad scientist, than the judge.
Yeah, I like
anyway,
that.
Judge
Anyway.
Dave is now presiding. Off you go.
Okay. Because there was stories running around yesterday, you know, I can't do schoolwork at home, I haven't got a laptop. So said government then put out their PR showing this bloke putting hundreds of computers on trolleys ready to take them home. Why? Why? You tell me how many houses with kids hasn't got an Xbox? It's hard, isn't it?
We haven't got one here.
No, but you haven't got kids there at the moment, have you?
No.
No. But you would have done, or other games platforms that do the same job as well, by the way. It's not just...
We had a Wii, not just the yellow one.
Yes. But with an Xbox, you can go into the Google Schooly bit and into the Microsoft Schooly bit with an Xbox.
Right.
So you don't need a laptop.
Okay.
You don't need to give them away because it's got it all there already.
But have you? Do they work in the same way as like these smart TVs? You spend
Yes.
30 minutes typing in like a four-letter word.
No, because you can put a keyboard with an Xbox
Oh right, okay.
because you've got the USB ports on the back and you have a wireless one because that's the same as a handset. You know, it's not, a games controller. And that's what, I have that on my telly anyway. I don't use the handset.
But the argument was also that a lot of the people or kids that were at home and couldn't be homeschooled were because they didn't have internet, because they were in that part of the society which couldn't afford to have internet at their house.
And if they've got an Xbox, how are they going to use it?
Well, you can use it as a standalone thing, I guess. I'm not really sure. I don't do gaming. But yeah, so the argument really was more to do with having access to broadband as opposed to physical kit, although physical kit did come into it as well.
I will accept your point that some less fortunate might not have the interweb.
Right.
I get that.
Excellent.
Yep.
How they listen to us, I have no idea.
But they do.
Maybe they're listening on Unique on 3210.
Don't think so.
Are they on today?
No, it's Friday. Friday and Monday.
Oh, Friday.
So, okay, there are a small, and it would be a smaller number that don't have broadband. So find out the ones that have got broadband and couple that with Xboxes, because that will be the case why they've got it. And don't give them a laptop. You keep the laptops for those that really need them.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I'm willing to accept that if you have an Xbox, then you don't need a tablet or a laptop
From the school, free of charge.
from the school. But I assume that you have to hand them back at the end of this madness.
Well, you probably do, but somebody somewhere has got to pay to get them in the first place.
Well, that's true.
And what it means is that money is going away from the normal education budgets, which is going to leave schools in a mess.
I think they already are.
Yes. Steve's repeating a post that he did yesterday. Minimum
Broadband should be free, enough speed so the kids can do their schoolwork. Now, this is an interesting one, because what is the base of what the kids need to do their schoolwork? Because they're all having to do these Microsoft Teams or Zoom calls or whatever else they come up with. So you need a reasonable amount of broadband bandwidth to do that.
Yes.
And then by the time you couple this with, if if the parent is working from home and they're trying to do Zoom calls and work from home, you've got another problem. And even if you want to make it even more complicated, if both parents are working from home, then you've got two laptops doing two lots of Zoom calls for the parents and then the kids on top of that. So what is the minimum amount of broadband that a house should have?
Well, that's very true. All four main mobile operators are already offering free broadband to the vulnerable by giving 20 gigabytes of mobile data. 3 are actually giving unlimited data. And to be honest, 20 gigs over a month for school is okay. You wouldn't need any more than that. But the trouble is, this is where it goes wrong. How do you control it? Because if you've got 20 gigabytes of mobile data and somebody goes on the interweb and starts nicking music and films,
watching EastEnders,
or something else
on the iPlayer, or something.
It's the end of it. BBC Two in the UK aren't bringing back school programs from this Monday. Oh, really? They should do.
What? Who said that?
Ian, I think that BBC, especially BBC Two, they could step up here, because...
but they are, because if you heard what was announced yesterday, CBeebies are going to broadcast a 3-hour block, I think from 9 a.m. on Monday, of preschool programming and educational programming. And I believe that BBC Two is going to be doing about 3 hours of educational programming for secondary school kids.
Right. That all makes sense.
So there is stuff going around. I mean, the BBC only announced that yesterday. I think Boris preempted the BBC announcement by announcing it in his press conference yesterday.
Right. Got some more news here. Marcus says, we don't live in Russia. Broadband shouldn't be free. Broadband isn't free in Russia, mate. Not by any stretch of the imagination. Nothing is free. It has to be paid for by the taxpayer. I don't buy that these poor can't afford broadband when they smoke and drink and gamble. No, that's generalising a bit too far for me. Little bit. I'm not suggesting everybody is of the same ilk. But there are problems.
In the last lockdown was accused a boy of lying when he said he had no access to broadband due to where he was living, says Trina.
Well, that is possible. That's very possible. I mean, don't forget, it was only, 4 years ago, I think, that by accident, I happened to be in the UK, and by accident, I overheard a conversation, and by accident, not by accident, but then I fixed it,
There's a lot of accidents here.
Yeah, and what it was out in one of the villages where Jan lives, they had no broadband fibre anywhere, and his son was at school and needed broadband really, or they had to turn everything off. And British Telecom wanted £20,000 to dig the road up to give him broadband.
Good grief, where was he living? In the middle of nowhere?
Well, no, he lives in Hertfordshire, and it's a well-known village. But at that time, they didn't have broadband. And I quickly said to my colleague, can you get the guy from O2, please, and get him to bring... And I broke down what we needed. And, within minutes, the guy from O2 was around. And I said to Jan, we're going to go fix this now. You're not doing anything. He went, no, what are we going to do? I said, right, we're going to cure all this. We go into your house. Okay, I said, you're driving. So we went over there. We put 2 of those wireless SIM card holders in the house, one upstairs, one downstairs. We then did actually do a lot of work on the computers that were in the house. But, within, 30 minutes, I disconnected the DSL line completely. Wasn't even connected to anything. And Jan's son came running down and goes, Uncle Eric, you're a genius. It's working. I can do all my schoolwork. I can do it so quick. So it wasn't difficult, and it cost about £100. Now,
Cool.
it was really simple. So not everywhere does have broadband access that I can accept. But even so, as I said yesterday, somewhere along down the road, you can use one of these things. You can use wireless, high-powered wireless things for villages. And in fact, we had some redundant high-powered Wi-Fi's. And if you look at the antennas on there, the size of, a Smarties tube. The antennas, huge. But they cover about 8 kilometres free space. Yeah, so we got the village to pay for one line. The kids got second-hand laptops, and that was it. They sorted it out. When they
Trina has an update.
Go on, then you do the update.
When they investigated the child that didn't have claimed he didn't have broadband, it turned out that he was living in a bedsit with his family, and the teacher had to apologise to him and his family.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is the problem. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
There are people that are poor in the country.
Genuinely
Poor who don't have access to all this things. And of course, everybody thinks that everybody has broadband at home, and they don't.
No.
And the same with people having laptops and tablets. Yes, it is more available, and lots more kids do have mobiles and tablets and laptops, but some parents just can't afford it.
Yeah. Axel wants to know, do we have a lottery over here? We have a lotto, yes, we do have a lottery.
We have a lotto in the UK as well.
Yeah, everybody has lottos, I think. If that included video lessons, then 20 gigs is not enough. I don't think you need that many video lessons. Because if you look at the majority of the time teachers speak to, 10 to 16-year-olds, it's actually quite small because they're working from books.
A lot of these lessons that they're doing from home, I think the kids have to be connected all the time to make sure that they're working.
I get
so
that.
Even if they're not actually teaching a specific person or the group, they all still have to be connected so the teacher can see that they're not all sitting on their Xboxes playing Gran Turismo or whatever.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
Minecraft, that's what they
That's it, Minecraft. Trevor pays £35 a month for 100 gigs of data at our lodge in Suffolk. We had no problems with this, and he sort of carries on. My mate still lives in a village in Wales with no broadband. They've only got mobile phone coverage in the summer. I know, Steve. That's what I get. I remember talking to, and I always have trouble saying his name, Opic Lempic, the Liberal Democrat bloke.
Hang on, you were talking to him.
Yes. No, it's real.
Name drop.
It's only 39 minutes in. And the reason for it is when digital first came out, the transmitters out there couldn't get the digital signals up through the horrible systems they had at the time. And the only way you could get digital telly was through Sky. And so there was this big campaign. I got involved in it as well. And we ended up doing, I don't know if it still stands now, a deal whereby the main channels were a Sky viewing card that you paid a minimum fee for, and it lasted for like life or something. And it meant that all the people in those areas did actually get digital telly because there's just nothing out there. Marcus says, I don't buy this. Broadband with line rental from BT is £12 a month. I don't know. I don't live there anymore. How am I going to know? He's Opic Limpic. Somebody had to do it. He's too cheeky. Ha, ha, ha.
Oh, dear.
Yes. Yeah, but that's fine, Marcus, but there are still places where there isn't broadband into the telephone exchange itself. And there are still places like that. And it was only recently that, I think it was last year, where Hull went over and a few others went over. And if you actually look at the coverage in just about every country in the world, there are pockets where it don't work properly. And they don't have fibre optic, which is what you need to have broadband. And the trouble is broadband's become a generic term for the internet. Now, broadband is not basic internet. Basic internet is a dial-up modem, in truth. It's no faster. It's horrible. Like when I got a £1,500 telephone bill in the 90s for using a modem. Clang. So there is a problem with it, and the truth is that not everybody has access, not everybody has the money, and returning to the Russian scenario, they don't have broadband in the villages in Russia. That's a fact. They don't have them. Mark you, they've got nothing to eat either because of that idiot in charge. So, you know, it's just wrong. And it was a culture shock to me when I first came to Slovakia. So I said, where's the internet then? And they went, oh, you have to phone this bloke up and he puts an aerial on your house. Right. And there was no broadband. There was none. I was lucky that I lived relatively close to the emerging ISP as it was then. And what they did is they pulled the fibre optics through the old heating pipes that the communists put in. So you don't need fibre for broadband. ADSL runs copper, 95% broadband coverage in the UK. It's not as fast. ADSL is not as fast. Sorry, mate. It ain't. And that's where
And also, if you're in a village and everybody's on copper, you get serious contention when everybody's online.
Oh yeah,
it just grinds to a halt.
I call it anorak time.
Fair enough. Most of us call it when the kids have got home from school and they all turn on their Xboxes.
That is the trouble, because there isn't fibre to the actual exchanges, and it's just horrible. And in some cases, the drop wire used to get the cable into the house isn't copper anyway. It's steel. It's a steel cable, not a copper cable, which makes life even harder. I know this because I did it. I love the sound of dial-up. So did I. Do you know what? That's why I like the anorak track.
Oh, yes, because it's got the dial-up modem sound in it, hasn't it?
Yes, very much so. If China can block access to other sites, then free broadband for kids should be limited to whatever kids need for school. Or they could get around it with a VPN, walled garden, something like that. They could, Steve, but this is not a criticism of politically of a government, but for government to do that, it would have to jump through 20 hoops, climb a couple of mountains, jump up and down a bit, and then after that, somebody would say, "Oh, right, we're now ready to actually write the project." They weren't even written the project at that time, so it just takes too long. You can get up to 20 megs via copper. Yes, you can. I agree totally. You can stream Netflix in HD at 3.5. I think you'll be able to do your homework. And I agree, as long as there's only one person doing it. And as David said, quite rightly, you get this evil bottleneck at a lot of times of the day because there isn't enough coming into the exchange first. Now, that's not the exchanges that you and I frequented, Marcus. These are the little ones that are out in the villages. And some of the old Strowger exchanges, which they have been doing well getting rid of, they're just rubbish at it. They really are. Webcam, you're not downloading everything.
There you go.
Oh dear. Is that for Ian?
Do what?
Is that for Ian?
Yes.
Okay. Mark says, I pay £20 a month for inclusive free calls all over the world. I get 70 megabytes broadband and I get line rental for 20 a month on Sky. So does that mean you're paying 40 quid a month, Marcus? I'm not quite sure. As it doesn't get line rental for 20.
Free calls over the world.
No, I think you're paying 40. I don't know. It could be wrong. Because the line rental is one price. And no, it's not the sound of Eric's brain turning on in the morning. Stop it, you monkey. Don't wind everybody up. I know you. I've never met him, actually. But
there's definitely some winding up. I'm not sure who's winding who up here.
No, I don't know either. But I do think there is a need. Oh, £20 for everything. Oh, so hang on. Just quantify this a little bit. Hello,
Brendan.
Hello,
Nice
Brendan.
of you to join us.
Thank you. So for 20 quid a month, Marcus, you are getting free calls all over the world, 70 megabytes of broadband, and your line rental. That's just 20 quid. I think that's a really good price.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. No, but they do say in the adverts, Marcus, that line rental is extra when you see all the adverts. So they might chunk it all together at the end, but they do separate it out at one point.
And then after the first 3 months, they then hike the price up because
Yes.
you're already in the contract.
Yes, line rental and broadband is one price. Now, I get that because it normally is. When you're actually paying the bill, you just pay the one fee, and I get all of that. But there's the actual bill is broken down if you want to see what the level of line rental and broadband is. They do itemise it. Here in Ireland, we can get broadband TV and phone calls and SIM for only €30. Wow. That's not bad, is it?
No,
That's quite reasonable, Brendan.
it is.
Like that. Like that indeed. So what Marcus reckons Ofcom banned them? What you mean the separation of line rental?
I'm confused.
Yeah, me too. They've got
Can we go back to talking about food?
Yeah,
It was
probably be
much
better.
easier.
Yeah, it might well be better. They've got to break the two things down, otherwise they don't know what to charge. There's got to be an aspect of it that is the line rental, and there's got to be another aspect, which is how much broadband you opt in and out with. Otherwise they can't measure it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because if you want, and I'm just picking numbers off the top of my head, if you're going to have 30 megs as broadband access, You can't be charged the same as somebody who's got 100 megs of broadband access.
No,
It's impossible.
that would just be wrong.
Yeah, just be wrong. Freeview has turned on the accessible TV guide on
TV guide on channel 555.
Oh, nice one. I never realised there was so much rubbish on TV these days.
Yep.
Yes. Tony, hello Tony. How the devil are you, mate? Your stay fast guarantee, 29 megs. Upload speed ranges between 8 to 9 megs, $24.99 per month from BT. It's just too messy, isn't it? I mean, we get it because we're us. But can you imagine Auntie Mabel trying to work her way through this lot at home on her own?
With no idea what it all means.
Yes. Thank you for the link, Marcus. I'll look at it later. I can't do that now because it's too confusing for me. I've got so many. Is that still? Yeah, we're still. Hello, YouTubers again. We're the replacement for Talk Radio that you lost yesterday. I'll have a read of it later, Marcus. Thank you. You can have a broadband only line and only be charged for broadband, as you still need a phone line to get broadband in most communities. Yep, I'd agree with that. Makes sense to me.
Yeah,
makes an awful lot of sense. But the trouble is, bottom line with our tellies, because we have one upstairs, one downstairs. We hardly ever watch the downstairs telly. In fact, the last time we sat together watching the telly downstairs is when we were watching a paid-for online concert just before Christmas. It was brilliant.
Oh, what was the concert?
It's a guy called Joseph Holly, Jozef Holly. Look him up on YouTube. He's got some amazing stuff on there. This is a guy that does convergence of music. Simple as that. Because he'll be doing Thunderstruck by AC/DC. And he is actually playing a piano. He's a pianist. A very good one at that. But he plays, he rearranges stuff, but, and he'll do a classical piece, same style, that will have a conventional drummer, like a band. And so he peaks it all up. It's just, I can't describe him properly. He's just downright brilliant. He really is. And, for me to sit through a concert of an hour is not always that easy for me. My attention span gets sort of rubbishy around the edges. But
the attention span of a goldfish.
Yes, thank you. Tony Field is saying for the price of 2 to 3 packets of fags a week, you can have broadband. True.
So there you go. Stop smoking and you can surf the net.
Yes. Cable broadband doesn't need line rental. That's true, Steve. That's true. Because cable is cable. But when you've got a drop wire coming down to your house from a telegraph pole, that's a line. The other one isn't, technically. If you're in... What time to make... Oh, yeah, that's a good question, Steve. Axel, if you're in lockdown, does that, in the USA now, does that mean you've got more time to make more music? Must be. Oh, no, hold on a minute.
What?
Melissa doesn't like him near the computer.
No.
So it's
that could all go terribly wrong.
Yes. You could offer to do the washing up or the ironing, Axel.
What, and use the implements as musical instruments?
No, to then barter for extra computer time.
Oh, I see.
Does that make any sense? Not really.
Yeah, it could do that.
Not really.
Unless it's got a dishwasher, and then that argument, it becomes irrelevant.
Ah, yes. Don't know. I don't tell anybody. I call our dishwasher Martina. Yep. She always says
One day that door's going to burst open and there's going to be a murder live on.
Oh, don't start. Do you know what happened on Sunday?
I don't know.
The boss phones up Sunday morning, right? And we're having a bit of a giggle. So he says to me, "You should listen to Martina." So I said, hold on a minute. So I put it onto speaker, and he then speaks in Czech to Martina. They both laugh, thinking I can't understand a word of it, but they're wrong. And he goes on alarming, telling her that she should control me.
Like to see anybody control you.
It's been known. Anorex. Cable lines are optical. Yes, they're made of glass. Are telephone lines copper or optical? No. Telephone lines, if you see the bit that comes from the telegraph pole down to your house, Mitchell, the newer ones are copper. But there's still an awful lot of them out there that are made of steel with that old really thick black plastic around them. Looks like rubberoid things. And that's what they are, you know. And if you look at the amount of stuff they can field for broadband, it ain't very good. Cable are copper. Old telephone lines are
copper, but they
have done optical ones, but they're rare.
No,
no,
this is where it gets a bit complicated, because some phone signals don't go down copper lines, they go down optical lines, but they're part of a digital system, so they're part of a voice over IP network. So then it's not a phone line, it's a data line. And it all gets very complicated. As far too complicated to be resolved in 4 minutes.
I hate to tell you this, Steve, but as a fully qualified British Telecom engineer, the old cables were actually steel, not copper. Copper came in later. They were steel, and they were horrible, because if you had to do them, you'd often cut your fingers open and all sorts of things. Ian says, Prime Minister Johnson told the Commons that the government will do everything possible to support the move to home learning after schools closed to the majority of people's because of the lockdown. Yeah, I can see that.
This includes providing laptops and tablets to disadvantaged families. Oh my word, there's loads of this. According to the government figures published in December, which we won't be able to read because we're running out of time, the Department of Education had provided 562,421 devices. 341,869 of them were distributed since the start of the academic year.
Oh.
Mr. Johnson said more had been delivered at the start of this term. Oh, this goes on and on. I don't know whether I can read all of this before the end of the show.
We can nick 30 seconds, don't worry.
Oh, okay. But there are still challenges in using these devices to access remote learning. According to data published last year by Ofcom, the UK's telecoms regulator, up to 913,000 children can only access the internet using mobile data. So it could prove expensive to watch educational videos, for example, while up to 559,000 children have no access to the internet at all. On this issue, Mr. Johnson said that the government had partnered with some of the UK's leading operators to provide free mobile data to disadvantaged families to support access to education resources.
And you nearly ran out of breath at the end of that.
I did. I'm still alive, though. It's okay.
Have a good night, says Axe. It's afternoon, soul.
Yeah. Thank you, Ian, for all of that, by the way.
If you have some copper, does that mean they run slower? Steel is the slowest. Steel followed by copper, followed by fibre optic. Fibre optic being the best.
Steve Mann is now asking daft questions.
Yes.
If the vaccine rollout is being slowed by a lack of trained staff, should they recruit darts players?
Yes. That'd be going 180. That's what you get at the end of the day for the... No, never mind. I suppose we had better go, really, haven't we?
It would be good, I guess,
Yeah.
before this turns into a real bun fight.
Anyway,
It already has.
if you haven't bumped into us before, send your broken laptops to Eric so he can repair them and give to the kids that need them. We do that all the time, man. We've been doing it for a very long time. And it's actually, I'm very proud of this, it's prompted things as far away as India and Thailand. There are now digital angels, as we call it, in Thailand and India now, recycling laptops to give them to kids. And to be honest, you know, if the government was smart, they know that there's a whole bunch of recycled computers. They don't have to be laptops. They don't have to be laptops. They can be desktops that have been used by companies for 3 or 4 years, get them fixed up again, send them out. It'd be a lot cheaper than the money, I'm guessing, for the spec that they're paying at the volume they're buying them in. They're probably only spending about 150 quid to 175 quid a laptop. True. That's how you buy them in bulk.
Well,
So,
yes. Buy them in bulk, get them a lot cheaper.
And they're not going to be, 16 gigs of RAM and all this sort of fancy games machines. They're going to be very basic office machines. And so they are relatively cheap. But there you go. Why not vets? Yeah, good idea, says Ian. Anyway, we are going to go. We'll see you on Friday.
I'll see you on Thursday.
And the plug is...
And the plug is, on this Thursday's Dave Rhodes Radio Experience, join me and the Automatics' David Philp, and we talk about life as a punk rocker in the 70s.
Oh, nice.
He, the Automatics headlined at the Marquee Club with people like the Sex Pistols and the Damned, and he has a very, very entertaining story to tell. In fact, it was so long, it's going to be a two-parter. So part one is tomorrow night, Thursday night, 9 p.m. UK time, 10 p.m. CET, right here on RTI.
There you go. Marcus says, never believes me. I do, Marcus. Oh, that's not fair. But I like to debate things to make sure we're right. That will be interesting, Dave, says Mitchell. Should be indeed.
It's got some funny stories in there. There's a brilliant story about how they upset Freddie Mercury and Queen. It's hilarious.
Oh, I'd like that story immensely. Anyway, we better go. We're going to go with our voiceover people telling you not to be alone. And we're going to say goodbye to the YouTubers in a few seconds' time. And, of course, Facebook as well, because none of you are allowed to have music. How boring is that? We'll see you on Friday. Dave's back tomorrow, Thursday evening. And thank you for all of your comments. And to those out in other parts of the world, you see, we're not all idiots on talk radio in the UK. No.
Well, maybe.
Well, maybe. Possibly, allegedly, rumoured. Yeah.
Whatever.
We do talk radio. We've been doing talk radio for years, haven't we?
Yeah.
How many years we've been
Surprised they haven't banned us.
Yeah, we've been doing talk radio.
Since the early 90s.
Yes, you see. Before they even thought of names like talk radio, we were doing talk radio.
Exactly.
There you go. See you later.
Bye.
RTI.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Is there anybody out there?
Can you hear me?